In this video, we're going to look at let's say a special case of something that can happen. So let's just try and draw this. So step one would be looking at the shape, and we know this is going to be a happy shape. So it's bending up. That's how we usually talk about it. It's bending up. And the second part we're going to look at is what is the y-intercept. So I know it's going to be 9. And the second part is trying to find the x-intercept. So I'll make x equal to 0, or sorry, y equal to 0. And I'd factorize this and I'll get x plus 3, x plus 3. And now it's kind of a special case because x is negative 3 or x is negative 3. And we're used to having two answers. So in the previous ones we saw we'd get two different answers, like a 1 and a negative, well, let's say a 1 and a negative 3, and it would cut through both. And then, yeah, perfect. Then we just drew the line of symmetry. But what's interesting here is we only have one x value. So because the shape is like this, it can't go down, it has to go up. So the only way we can draw this is it means that it doesn't cross the x-intercept, it actually just touches it. So I'm just going to wipe that off because I need to actually draw the parabola there. But we saw that both of them would have to be negative 3. So somewhere where negative 3 is, the graph is going to go down and it's only going to touch and go up again. So if we only have one answer, or when we factorize and we get x is, well, 3 and 3, or negative 3 and negative 3, or 5 and 5, it means the graph goes down, only touches, and it goes up again. Now, it's not really in the IG course now, but it can happen that a graph would not touch. Now they would, if this happens, it would be given like this. So they would draw it for you. Again, I've not really seen it where you have to work it out, but let's just prepare for if that happens. It's usually more an AS level than in IG, but what can happen is if you were to put this in, and like in the quadratic formula, not this one now, but like for example, there was another example, and if you put a as 1 and b and whatever, and you did the quadratic formula, you would see you'd get a math error. Now, mostly when you get a math error, you'd be like, okay, I made a mistake in the quadratic formula. But I mean, if you do it a couple of times and you realize this is not working, and specifically when that little part that's under the square root minus b squared minus 4ac, this is called the discriminant. Again, it's not really something we have to know in IG, but it's cool to know about it. If this value were to be a negative number, we'd have a negative number under the square root, and that is unsolvable, and that's why you would get a math error. And it wouldn't be incorrect, it would only tell us that the graph has no solution, meaning the graph would never cross the it would never cross the x-intercept. So if we have two answers, it means we have a graph that crosses. If we get one answer, it means there's a graph that touches. And if we get no answers, it means it doesn't touch, or it can even be upside down, or in this case, like just touching and going down. In this case, it goes twice. Okay, that's a lot of ugly drawings, but I just wanted to show you in this video that you can get a special case where you get one answer, and in your future, it might happen that you get no answers or math error. So obviously it would not be factorizable, and when you complete the square or do the quadratic formula, you're going to get a negative, me not speaking English right well today. If you do completing the square or the quadratic formula and you get a negative number under the square root, if you subbed in and everything was done correctly, but you still get a negative number, that would mean the graph does not cross the x-intercept.